Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to your 4 to 5. For the next hour, we are controlling your television set. That would be Eric, Lauren, and Jalen. Welcome.
And happy Friday, everyone.
It is Friday.
And if you guys at home don't know, we live stream this show on Facebook. Make sure you come join us and chat with us during the breaks.
Yep, and we have a lot to chat about today. Lots happening in our state, so let's get right into it. The National Transportation Safety Board has released the preliminary report into last month's deadly Duke Energy helicopter crash in Eden. Investigators say it happened just before 1:30 p.m. And investigators tell us as the helicopter approached a nearby intersection when the pilot began to reverse the original course by turning to the right. As the pilot turned, one of the linemen who survived the crash said he heard a very loud noise, and that's when the helicopter began to fall. The pilot of the helicopter, Shane Keebler, died in the crash. The two other men in the helicopter were able to make it out alive. Now, this is just the NTSB's preliminary report. We'll make sure to keep you updated as they continue to investigate this crash. Some other big news in the state. Governor Roy Cooper was in the Triad today at the North Carolina Zoo's vaccination clinic. WFNY News 2's Jalen Gilkey was there as the governor encouraged everyone in the state to get COVID-19 vaccinated.
Well, as we move closer towards the governor's goal of 66% of North Carolina's adults being fully vaccinated by June 1st, he was out and about at the North Carolina Zoo in Asheboro today visiting the walk-in vaccination clinic. Governor Cooper, his message was clear: get out and get the shot.
To come to the zoo, and also if you haven't been vaccinated, please do. I talked to a woman today who had been thinking about this for a long time, whether she should get a vaccine, and she said she was finally at peace with it. And she was getting it today. And I told her to go and talk with all of her friends and make sure that they can find peace too.
The vaccination clinic at the North Carolina Zoo will also be open tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. This clinic has 2 vaccine options available. They offer the one-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine as well as the 2-dose Pfizer vaccine.
We now know more than ever that the more people we get vaccinated, the better off we're going to be, the more normal our lives will be. But I will say this, we are turning the corner on this pandemic, one shot at a time. One shot at a time.
And if this weekend didn't work out great for your schedule, no worries. The vaccination clinic will be returning in June. For more details, just check out this web story on WFNYnews2.com.
All right, thank you, Jalen. Well, the number of North Carolinians in the hospital with coronavirus took another encouraging dip today. The latest number from the state, 763, so that's 30 fewer than yesterday, and the lowest number we've seen in nearly a year. It's also the 7th day in a row this number has either stayed or gone down some. So we showed you earlier in the week how we've consistently shaved off about 100 a week over the past 3 weeks. If this trend continues, we'll be able to say we've shrunk this number by 400 over the past month. And the U.S. saw fewer than 30,000 new COVID cases Thursday, the 5th day in a row it's been below the 30,000 mark. That hasn't happened since last June. The new cases have gone down as vaccination rates have gone up. More than 156 million American adults have now received at least one dose of the vaccine.
We have seen a 20% decrease in the 7-day average of cases across the country. And we have seen some counties across the country have had an even greater decrease.
But while vaccination rates are increasing, they are slowing down. The U.S. is averaging about 1.8 million vaccinations each day over the past week. That's well down from the average high of 3.5 million shots a day last month. And we get antibodies after contracting a COVID-19. Do we need the vaccine? One of our viewers asked us that question as they consider getting the vaccine. Here's what we found out.
Millions of Americans have had COVID, which means millions might have developed some natural antibodies to the virus. So Candace has this question.
If natural antibodies are better than antibodies created from a vaccine, can one obtain a vaccination card or something similar using the date that he or she tested positive for COVID?
To answer, we first have to verify whether natural antibodies really are better than antibodies from a vaccine.
And the answer is not necessarily.
Scientists from the Immunization Action Coalition, the University of North Texas Health Science Center, and the University of South Carolina School of Medicine Greenville are our sources. Someone who gets sick with COVID does often, but not always, develop a wider variety of antibodies than someone who gets the vaccine. But scientists say many of those naturally produced antibodies don't really help your body fight off the virus, whereas all of the antibodies developed from a vaccine do.
The two mRNA vaccines out there we have seen have generated a much more substantial antibody response than, let's say, natural infection has.
Also, the amount of antibodies developed from an infection is wildly unpredictable.
Everybody's response is going to be different. So I would say, yes, there is variability from patient to patient.
We've seen some people that have a really strong protective response. And then there's even some people up to maybe like 9 or 10% that don't really have a response.
Candace also asked if someone who caught COVID can get something similar to a vaccination card.
Someone that's had an infection, we don't know for certain if they've gotten protective antibodies or not. And so if we were to give out some sort of, immunity card that's to anyone that got an infection, we'd be giving it out to about 10% of people that aren't protected.
So Candace, we can verify. Scientists say natural antibodies are not better than the antibodies created from a COVID vaccine. And no, someone who caught COVID cannot get a vaccination card if they haven't been vaccinated.
Well, let's get to your headlines with your 4 to 5 roundup. Doctors are trying to figure out why some people hospitalized with COVID-19 are developing massively enlarged tongues. The condition makes it impossible for patients to eat or talk. Last fall, there were only 2 documented cases in the U.S., but since then, 7 more patients have developed the condition. Doctors are looking to see if there is a common gene among the patients to hopefully find an answer soon. And health officials in Ohio are reporting a big surge in COVID vaccinations just a week after the state announced a Vax-A-Million lottery. The state saw a nearly 53% increase in just the first week. Ohio residents 18 and older who have received at least 1 dose of the vaccine can enter to win one of the 5 $1 million prizes. Ohioans between the ages of 12 and 17 who have received at least 1 dose of the vaccine can enter to win one of 5 4-year full-ride scholarships to any state college or university in the state. An airport check-in system used by American Airlines and other carriers experienced a temporary outage this morning, causing long lines at several airports all across the country. The glitch comes just as pandemic restrictions ease up nationwide and activities like airline travel are making a comeback. American Airlines says the technical issue has since been resolved. And here in the Triad, PTI tells us they saw some delays around 30 minutes this morning. And happy NASCAR Day to everyone. Each year, the 3rd Friday in May celebrates the drivers, teams, and millions of fans. Each year, it kicks off a fundraising event dedicated to making a difference in the lives of children. To celebrate NASCAR, says you can make a donation to the NASCAR Foundation and use the hashtag NASCAR Day on social media.
All right, let's look at the temperatures out here. It really doesn't feel all that bad. Most of the temperatures we've for the last couple of hours, but now some lower 80s is nice. This weekend, I have to weather. And even though the rain chances, they do come in a little bit toward the beginning of the week, but they're so slight. We're seeing literally a good week of decent weather. Now, some of you are going to start that complaining about the lawn. I know, and they say, oh, it's getting crunchy out there, Chilton. Yeah, we'll watch for that. The lack of rain, it is about time that we get a shower. We've been dry for a little bit, so we'll see how it goes. 80 degrees right now in the Triad, at least at the airport where our records are kept. It's 84 down towards Charlotte. If you head toward Raleigh, you're looking low 80s as well. Fayetteville a bit warmer in the Sandhills region at 84, and then cooler with that sea breeze with the Grand Strand around 78, 79 degrees, and then 80 for Wilmington. So hour by hour heading into the evening, so comfortable. Even if you look at this as we take you down through, well, into the latter part of the night, not necessarily overnight, but we'll see some 70s then in those 60s, and we think maybe some upper 50s for overnight lows before all is said and done. It really depends on where you are. You could see some lower 60s as well in the southern Piedmont. Across the area, hardly a cloud in the sky, and definitely we're not talking about rain right now. Look at this high pressure, that big bubble. Imagine this 3-dimensionally. If you sort of bent the map down, you'd see a dome of high pressure over us. That just keeps everything out as far as rainmakers are concerned. You see the rain hangs on the periphery of this system, and as it slips to the south and a little bit back to the west, we're going to see it pick up a little bit of that heat and send it our way, so we'll get even warmer. In fact, there's a good chance that we could see temperatures for the next week in those upper 80s. I mean, look at Saturday at 86 and then Sunday 88, all sunshine, dry. You head through Monday, Tuesday, there's a slight rain chance. It's only a 20%. Sunny to partly cloudy, and then hovering between 88 and 89 for the entire work week next week is Monday through Friday. Overnight lows for the most part in the to upper 60s, a little bit cooler heading into Friday of next week, that morning low of 63. The 4 to 5 continues in just a minute. No worries. Welcome back in the studio. Check, check, check.
Oh, man.
Checkity, chookity.
Checkity check.
Checkity check. Before you wreckity wreck. All right, what do we have there? Touch, okay. Hello, Book of Face. What is happening? We'll do it live. Two cents is mine. It is about how, well, there's a psychologist, I was reading an article that said that some people have mask anxiety of getting rid of the mask now because they've had it for so long and how it's a safety blanket for some people. But then we talked about too that weird feeling, and this is my experience, where you start to go in a place, you forget to look at the signs and see if you're supposed to have the mask. Then you walk in and you look like a fool because you're just looking around like, what's everybody doing? Welcome back. So it's one thing to go through a tour of homes, but it's another when you learn something about the home's entire history. Our friends at Preservation Greensboro, they're holding their tour of historic homes. They've been doing this for 11 years. I spoke with Catherine McDowell to hear about this year's tour and what's different. Take a look. Catherine, thanks for being with us today. So, I love historic homes, anything history I love. Tell us a little bit about this event. What can we expect to see?
This year it's in College Hill, which we were very excited to revisit, as College Hill was our second tour of homes a couple of years ago. This year it is virtual just due to the pandemic. It is different than our last virtual tour of homes, but it's a wonderful event where you get to explore not only the inside of 6 different homes, 4 houses, 2 apartments, but this year being virtual, we are able to actually interview the homeowners.
So we know things are changing now, restrictions are changing. So how does this event look different than, say, last year's?
We are trying our best to adapt as a 54-year-old organization. We might be a little slow, but this year we were blessed with a wonderful videographer who was able to really help us curtail this tour. The videos are a little shorter than last year, but there's very impactful with how they're spliced together. The interviews, I think, are the key features for the videos and the tour.
Well, let's talk about why it's important to see these historic homes, from a history standpoint. It's really it's a learning lesson every time you step into one of these things or watch it virtually.
It is. We choose the neighborhoods to show the vast differences within Greensboro alone. And every year we choose a neighborhood, but we don't necessarily know what we're going to find when we dig into the history of these homes. This year, for example, was a complete mystery, and then we found we have an intense focus of women's history in College Hill. One of the houses was built by a single woman, and she had an amazing history as a music teacher within Greensboro.
Captain, this is great. Everybody will flock to this, I'm sure. Thanks for being with us today. All right, so this begs the question, what elements make the perfect home to you? I asked you on Facebook, and here's what people said. By the way, I had hundreds of responses to this. People were excited. Chris Williams said family, contentment, and yes, still free, as in zero mortgage. I want to know what you're doing there with your finances. That's awesome. Marcy says, love a big front porch with rocking chairs and a welcoming kitchen. Just perfect for people to get together, talk, and relax. CM Jordan said, if the kitchen doesn't make you feel at home, then you aren't going to feel at home anywhere else in the house. Ben Gilbert said, big porch, lots of shade trees, lots of windows. By the way, big porch was probably #1 on this. And Barbara Lewis said, besides air conditioning and heat, I would go with family and love. Janet said, there's only one thing that makes a perfect home, love, and everything else will fall into place if that element is there. So #1 answer was probably, everybody wants the big porch, like a wraparound porch to sit and talk to people, or they would say an outdoor, like a back patio where everybody can hang out. It seemed like entertaining was the theme.
Nice. I'm not a homeowner, but if I had a home, I definitely would want a big yard space. Because you know, some of the newer homes are like all on top of each other. Like you could literally go to your neighbor and say, can I have some sugar? I want some space. So when I do have my family, my kids can play and all that great stuff.
That's right. You're absolutely right, Lauren. That is, too, one of my least favorite things. It's now how more modern homes are kind of on top of each other. But I do love the modern design. I like a multi-floor, multi-level home. Couple patios. I need one outside my bedroom so I can just leave the door open and let the breeze blow.
Okay. That's funny. When I lived in Florida, we had, you know, everybody has a pool in Florida. It's not a big deal like it is here. And so, but small pools. But the master bedroom had sliding glass doors out to that patio, and I loved that because it was like an L shape. So your living room and your master could both open up, and everybody could go in and out. That was really nice. But I'm with you. I like a back patio too.
So Eric, was your pool screened in? Because I know when I go to Florida, that was one thing the first time I went, I was like, wow, everybody's got like a screened in patio. Once I realized, oh, it's because there's snakes and lizards and
it's the bugs.
A whole bunch of everything.
So they called them, I'd never heard this term when I moved to Florida, but they're called lanais. But basically out on it's a patio, but out on the lanai, and they have these big frame structures. I remember saying the same thing I was like, that's the ugliest thing. Why would someone do that to their pool? But you have to, because those mosquitoes are as big as me, and they're huge.
Come outside, find an alligator in your pool.
That's right, that too.
Wow, I did not know that.
That's what everybody has a screened-in back patio. That's right. Now you know. See, we're here to educate you. We're coming right back.
Smarter.
Water cooler smart, not real smart. We'll be right back.
Make sure you join us on Facebook. Come chat it up with us. Let's have some fun.
Walking through the back. Oh, I forgot something. All right, here we go. All right, going through the door, checking the mic. Was it popping or something, Brad? I did not. I'm talking so loudly I can't hear anything but me. Check, check, 1, 2, 1, 2. I'll move a little bit, walk to the wall. Hello, hello. Hello, check 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. All I hear is the traffic on Summit. Check 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lauren Coleman coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, with a tribute to You Day, followed by a forecast. Hot temperatures for a solid week. These are normal 79, so we'll be almost 10 degrees above normal for a few days. Ooh, they replanted the flowers in the weather garden.
Are you living your best life? I'm sure most people would say yes. And today on U Day, Coach Lamont takes a closer look on just how important your life is and what you can do to improve it.
If life was a coin that you could only spend once, how has your spending gone? Too much of our lives are spent waiting for the right opportunities to knock on our door. And even when those opportunities show up, we question if they are truly for us. If you can decide where to begin, you have already solved 90% of the problem. You are an enormous value to this world, but in many cases, you won't see exactly how valuable you are until you are willing to spend that time cashing in on the purpose you were created to live. Ask yourself, how long will you waste your time staring at the hill instead of climbing it? I dare you to redefine your life and to take steps to live an extraordinary one. You have it in you, so cash it in today. Your life is ready, and as you spend, your value will increase. This is Coach Lamont reminding you to have your best U Day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Well, if you're making plans for this weekend, they need to be outside, and you will be in short sleeves and shorts because it is going to be a hot one. Normal high this time of the year is 79, so we're getting close to those 80s that we expect for the summer, but maybe not 89 to 90, and we have several days in our 7-day where you could see that, especially in the southern Piedmont. So Randolph and Davidson County and maybe Montgomery might be seeing some low 90s over the next week or so because the forecast stays warm for almost the entire 7-day outlook. We're at 80 degrees in Greensboro right now. Winston-Salem around 81. We've got 83 in High Point, 80 in Asheboro. Lexington, you're showing up around 82. So it's really warm in the southern Piedmont and to the east as well. You have to go back up to Mount Airy where it's 80 degrees there. And in the higher elevations, we still see some mid to upper 70s in the Boone and Galax area. But overnight tonight, that low should be around 57. Some of you in the southern Piedmont, maybe a 60 here or there, but mostly clear. Then sunshine for your Saturday. This is a great day. 86, not bad, right? That's not approaching that 90, so we can handle that. Partly to mostly sunny. I mean, it's going to be a beautiful day. Sunday, pretty much the same, but the heat starts to build back in. If you look at the satellite and radar, we don't see much of anything. There's that big high pressure we talked about yesterday. We just kind of cook under that thing for a while. It doesn't allow any rain to develop. Monday and Tuesday will keep a slight chance of a shower in, but that's more like a 20%. So don't hold your breath on that one. But high temperatures going up to 89 degrees for Monday, 88 Tuesday. Now Wednesday, Thursday, still partly cloudy to mostly sunny. 88 Wednesday, and again, flirting with that 90-degree mark on Thursday, and then 88 on Friday. All those overnight lows for the most part in the 60s, except for tonight's at 57.
Well, it's Friday and time to recharge after a long week, and there's no better way to turn a frown upside down than to share the good news. WFNY News 2's Megan Malaris makes it her mission each week to find the blessings bringing you joy.
It's time to top off your positivity glass heading into the weekend. Time to sit back, relax, and just do some reflection on life's many blessings, which are all around us. It can be very therapeutic, especially during tougher times. I asked you on my Facebook page, Megan Malaris News, to tell me something good, big or small, that happened in your life recently. Kenny and his wife are on a health journey. As of Monday, they've lost more than 160 pounds between them. Denise got a precious little puppy. Patsy got to see in person her granddaughter Peyton graduate from UNC Charlotte. Annette's daughter is getting married this Saturday. Gay had both of her sons here for Mother's Day. It had been many years since that happened. Ginny enjoyed an outside bluegrass festival and had so much fun with friends. Sharon's dog Ellie Mae's tumor was benign. Amber closed on a 10-acre land tract in the country. Faye had a total knee replacement surgery May 5th and is doing great. Pat made it through the first day of EOGs. Angie is celebrating 2 weeks post-second COVID shot and getting her hair and nails done this weekend to celebrate. Keela's daughter committed to UNC Wilmington. Mona graduated with a master's in school counseling. Mikkel is fully vaccinated and can finally work out without a mask. And Alicia's grandson came home from Brenner Children's Hospital after a bad stomach virus. She's thankful for answered prayers.
All right, so now it's time for us to go around the horn, as they say, and talk about what we're thankful for. I would say, well, good health has to be number one for a lot of people these days. But I'm also thankful that my weekend is not so busy. Finally, get a little break.
All right, well, my good news is we're going to start off on a little down note. Didn't play any golf last weekend.
That's sad.
Yeah, very sad. But the good news is we're playing golf this weekend.
Nice.
So there we go.
Nice.
What about you, Lauren?
My week was good. I was healthy. It was smooth. I did go on a little outing with some of our co-workers on Sunday. We went to a local restaurant, learned about some different cocktails and pairings, and it was just great to learn a little more about the great people I work with.
That sounds like a good time.
It's a good thing.
Did you get an invite to that, Chilton? Because I did not.
No, I don't remember. Let me check my phone.
Oh.
Nope.
Must have missed that one.
Next time. Next time.
Or maybe the time after that, right?
You know I got you.
Check with you in 2022. That's what's happening right now. Yeah, and I will say this. So my youngest, my little girl, has a doubleheader soccer game tomorrow. Her last two
nice.
back to back, and they're undefeated. So we're watching.
What's our team name? Are we?
They're the Crickets.
Oh,
The Crickets.
watch out for those crickets, huh?
Watch out for them. All right, we're coming right back. The Crickets.
What's their call?
Do you hear this? Did y'all?
That's my cricket sound effect. Yes.
That's amazing.
Sounds like summertime outside.
Right? I'm here all week.
Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic combination.
Hello, mic is on. Check, check, check. Yep, yeah. This is the new one. You want me to step outside? I gotta go outside anyway.
Hurry, 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 hurry.
Okay. 2 wants to know. Okay, all right, we're good. Walking out. All right, walking out through the back door to the weather garden. Here we go. Standing at camera 7. I see camera 6. Let's walk over to camera 6. Check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. How's that sounding? Okay. And I'm out here for 2 wants to know, right? Okay. 2 wants to know why my mic is broken. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the 4 to 5 as we enter into the last 30 minutes with us. Lots planned for you. Lauren, Eric, and Jalen at the helm of the ship.
Happy Friday, everyone. We are oh so close to the weekend. You can almost just reach out and grab it. But until then, make sure you come join us on Facebook. Drop a comment in our live stream. Come chat with us during the break.
Yeah, a lot of us looking forward to the weekend. And if you went outside at all today, you noticed that it was hot. So Eric, we're going to start with you. Are we going to get more of a warm up this weekend?
Yeah, so you know it is. Tomorrow is not really the hottest day, but once we get to Sunday and really into most of next week, we're going to see some 90s, and I think there's a chance really from Sunday all the way through next Friday of someone seeing a 90-plus degree day, even though our forecasted highs are right below that at 88 to 89. But let's take a look and see how things are shaping up right now. If you look at the numbers across the area, it's warm. I mean, you say that, but 79 is our normal high, so not that bad. It's just when you get into this time of the year, we start going, oh, 80s, we're getting hot. 80 degrees at Piedmont Triad International Airport. That's where our records are kept. Asheboro showing up at 80, Lexington 82. You head back toward Mount Airy, it goes to about 80 degrees. Winston-Salem at 81. Everybody on the same page here. We're not seeing vast differences for anyone. That overnight low tonight will go down to about 57 degrees, be mostly clear skies, and then highs tomorrow. I think, in my opinion, tomorrow is the best day really of the week, I would say. 86, mostly sunny. It's a beautiful Saturday. Winds are fairly light too because we have that big dome of high pressure right over the top of us. It doesn't allow any rain activity or even for that matter cloud cover to develop. It kind of squelches the lift that we need to get showers, because normally if we're 86 degrees to 89, which is our range of highs for the next week, you would see a pop-up storm or shower, but not through the weekend at least, because that high is located right over us. Now, it slips a little bit back down to the south. That allows us to open the door for some more heat to move in on Sunday. Really, the only hope for showers is as it moves a little bit further, the center of that high away from us, we might see a Monday, Tuesday, well, let's say 20% chance of a shower. So not huge there, but high temperatures, 88 and 89, that's where we stay Sunday through Friday of next week. The only rain chances, about a 20% Monday, Tuesday, and then we're drying out again for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
All right, thank you, Eric. Well, let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. The Randolph County Sheriff is under investigation, according to the State Bureau of Investigation. The FBI says it is investigating allegations of misuse of position and authority by a public official involving Sheriff Greg Siebold. The FBI has not released any details on the allegations, and the FBI said it is an ongoing investigation. However, once it completes the investigation, it will submit the case file to the district attorney for review. The DA will then determine what, if any, charges should be made. And deputies arrest a woman who allegedly embezzled from a church for over 10 years. The Davidson County Sheriff's Office says Betty Collins embezzled over $150,000 from Liberty Baptist Church in Thomasville. Deputies began investigating Collins back in March and say her crimes began back in 2009. Collins is now in jail under a $25,000 bond and will appear in court in late June. Guilford County Schools could get its largest amount of funding from the county in 20 years. Under the current recommended budget, the district could get over $226 million for operating and maintenance needs. The overall education budget is $244 million. The increase would not affect the county property tax rate, and the county would hire 20 new employees if approved. A public hearing on the budget will be held on the second floor of the Old County Courthouse in Greensboro on June 3rd. And not great news for our out-of-state. According to a study by career site Zippia, Virginia is America's grossest state, and South and North Carolina followed right behind. Here's how the grossness was calculated. So the number of Google searches for mayonnaise and Crocs, but also more objectively, ill factors like dirty air and the spread of illness and trash. Ugh. Well, during the pandemic, scam artists have taken advantage of the growing number of people shopping online, and that includes consumers looking for a car. Take a look before this scam happens to you.
David doesn't want to reveal his last name, but does want to warn others about a scam. It happened when he spotted this ad for a used Range Rover.
It had a $1,400 price tag on it.
He reached out to the seller and asked why it was priced so low.
She was a widow. She had just lost her husband.
And the SUV had to sell fast because she was in the military and about to be deployed. She wanted payment sent to a third-party eBay account and said the Range Rover would be delivered. But David was suspicious and called the base.
I asked for military police. I said, can you validate that this indeed is somebody from your base? The gentleman said, no, this is not somebody that is currently at our base, and quite frankly, it's not anybody that's ever been at our base.
Every day, Better Business Bureaus are hearing from people who found a car or other vehicle online, sent money for the car, and were just ripped off. The car didn't exist. They never got it. It was simply a fraud.
Steve Baker from the Better Business Bureau says scam artists often post fake ads on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. They claim the vehicle has to go fast and want payment sent to a third-party account.
These third-party escrow companies are often non-existent. They're simply another name for the scammers. So you think you're sending the money to a safe third party, you're really sending it to the scammers.
David didn't fall for the scam and hopes his story prevents others from becoming a victim. Nichelle Medina, CBS News, San Diego.
Oh, it's Two Wants to Know game show time. Here we go, friends. I'm going to give you a list of items, and I want you to tell me what they all have in common. You at home, you play too on Facebook. Come on, let's play. Here we go. These are the items. A cooler of fresh fish and hospital scissors, a diary, and a piñata. Okay, folks, what are the guesses? Eric?
Somebody's gonna have a fish fry and they're gonna tell all.
Maybe so. Lauren, best guess?
I see where you're trying to go with that, Eric, but the dairy part, I don't get how it combines with all of this.
What would help if maybe I also told you a large print painting of Kate Middleton, Her Royal Highness, was also included? Does that help you, Jalen?
Absolutely. That does not help me whatsoever. Can you give me a hint?
Okay, I mean, you never know. You ready for this? Here we go. All of these items have been left in an Uber car. That's right. Over the last year. Can you imagine a cooler of fresh fish? You would think if you had all that fish, you would make sure that you had it, right?
Absolutely.
Have you ever left anything in an Uber?
I have not.
No.
Actually, I have.
Okay.
Halloween a couple years ago. I was
funny.
a police officer and I left like my whistle in the Uber, I think.
Halloween is one of the big nights of losing things. All right, each year the Uber Lost and Found Index provides a snapshot of our riders' most commonly forgotten and most unique lost items. I just told you some of the unique ones. Most frequently forgotten are phones, cameras, wallets, keys, bags, headphones. You get the gist, right? And when it comes to the most forgetful cities, well, Charlotte is listed in the top 10. Along with 3 cities in Texas, 2 cities in Florida. And so, can you relate? I can't relate to any of the weird things that were left in there.
I actually went to a concert one time and one of my buddies left his phone in the Uber, and since I had my phone, I had to call the Uber back to go get his phone.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
It wasn't even in there.
So okay,
he left it at the house.
Okay. All right, so name brand stuff gets left all the time. Apple products, they are left 9 times more than Samsung. Sorry if you're a Samsung fan, I'm just saying. Gucci products are left more than Chanel. Can you think of the one brand that is less likely to be forgotten? And think 2020.
Face mask.
Ooh, that's close.
Yes.
That's close.
No?
You know what it is? It's a Clorox item.
Oh.
Anything Clorox. It was not left in that Uber. No, it wasn't. Okay, Uber does have a lost and found, and you can do it right from the app. I'm going to show you step by step in the Two Wants to Know section. Thanks for playing, friends.
Next time, maybe I'll win.
You need a prize. The annual Greensboro Greek Festival traditionally happens in the fall, but last year organizers canceled due to COVID-19, but this year it's happening. It'll be a drive-through festival this weekend instead. I spoke with one of the organizers about what drivers can expect once they pull up.
Gyros, Greek salad, and assorted pastries. Just some of the Greek delicacies to tickle taste buds at the Greek Food Fest drive-thru in Greensboro this weekend.
You know, typically we do a fall festival in September, but due to COVID, we weren't able to hold the fall festival. And so instead, we're having the drive-thru.
Saturday, festival goers can pick up meals in the dormition of the Theotokos Greek Orthodox Church parking lot. Festival organizer Marian Contagianis tells me the process is simple.
So you'll order and pay for it in one location and then pick up the food in another location. But it's a circular path around our church parking lot.
She says a portion of the festival proceeds will go back into the church and various Triad charity organizations.
During the year, there are just other times where people will come to us, and we want to have a fund available to help people. And with COVID, it's been kind of busy. And so we reach out to communities.
Though there won't be the typical performances and activities from years past, organizers say they're glad the community will still be able to get a taste of Greek culture.
Seeing people coming and enjoying something that, to me, I've known since I was a child, right? Both my parents were Greek. And so it's so nice to be able to share that with people and see them enjoying it.
So the festival is happening tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. in the Dormition Church parking lot off of West Ridge Road. And this was planned several months ago, but now that COVID-19 restrictions have lifted, they are hoping to have the 3-day festival this fall.
So I can tell you firsthand, because they've done this a lot, it is packed.
Okay.
Even, and when I say that, I mean safely, right? Because this year will be a little bit different. But as far as traffic and congestion to get in there and get out, you got to get there early and plan ahead, because it is difficult to find parking around there.
Okay, definitely. And she also said that they have done drive-thrus in the past, even before COVID-19. And since she said several people come to these events, heading out early is a good idea.
Man, I'm all about the food, right?
Me
so
too.
if anybody that knows me, they'll ask, you can ask them what's my favorite meal. It's a salad. My favorite salad is the Greek salad.
Awesome.
Like, it's unbelievable. So I need to get out there tomorrow. We'll have to do some, maybe after my tea time, I might head.
That's what you do.
There we go.
That would be a refreshing meal afterwards.
Absolutely.
But yeah, and they're also going to have another drive-through event later on this year as well in the summertime.
This is, and I mean, most people will say they go because of the food, but if in previous years, and I'm sure we'll see this in subsequent years once we get past all this mess, it is such a fun event, like a big party. And when you see the dancers doing their thing, that's what I can't wait to get back to, you know, those events where we can do that. It'll be fun.
The dancing, the music, I look forward to checking it out when they bring it back in the fall.
It will be fun.
And we do have more of those details on our website.
Yep, we're coming right back. Stay there.
Join us on Facebook.
The Book of Face.
Come chat us. Come chat us up.
Chat us.
Come chat us up.
Well, check this out. The country might be dealing with a chicken and Chick-fil-A sauce shortage, but there's one thing we have plenty of: cicadas. And one chef in Virginia isn't letting these guys go to waste. Every day he goes out and collects cicadas as his key ingredient for his taco special. So the tacos featured the sauteed cicadas topped with chili, avocado, radish, in a mole verde sauce, all wrapped in a flour tortilla. And even though it sounds gross, you may have tasted something similar.
Cicadas and shrimp are in the same family. It's one of the reasons why when people taste cicadas, they say, oh, that tastes like shrimp. Catching them was really easy, and we're going to take them and just dump them into the boiling water, and that's it. And they're going, they'll squirm for a couple seconds and die. It's like cooking a lobster.
There is not enough money on this planet. Not enough.
Look at Jalen's face.
Leslie, can you please zoom in on my face?
I cannot. Give me the look.
You said it tastes like lobster or shrimp?
Yeah, no.
I mean,
are we serious?
Honestly, though, if somebody whipped that up, put all those
Absolutely.
different sauces on it, and
Stop
gave it
it.
to you and didn't tell
Well,
you what
if
was
you
in
don't,
it,
yeah, that's
you would
right.
be like, this is so good. And then
I'm
when
like-
they would tell you it was cicadas, then you'd be like, gross.
Why am I
So-
chewing exoskeleton? Like, what are we talking about?
See, and the thing is, like, they make little. I've seen like little
Oh,
tiny
my
crickets, that they'll do like chocolate with, because they're little. A cicada's huge. These things are like 3-4 inches long. No,
They just chop it up, though.
I don't care.
That man said it tastes like shrimp or lobster.
We both looked at each other
Get
like,
out of here,
What
man.
kind of shrimp you been eating?
That's what I'm saying. He's supposed to be a chef. You talking about shrimp or lobster?
You're right though, Lauren. There are disgusting things in this world that people eat and probably never had an idea what was really in there. That's
Well,
like if people tell you escargot and you don't know if you don't know it's snails, you're like, oh, I'll try that.
Just grubbing away.
It looked like snails. It's a snail shell. That's awful, man. I don't know what's wrong with people. There's no way in the world I would eat a cicada
No.
or any insect.
I think we should try to find a local restaurant
Ugh.
doing something like this.
Y'all have at it. Have fun.
I mean, I know
We should test it out.
butter, salt, and garlic can make about anything taste good, but I still can't do that.
There's no
Jalen's
way.
right. If it's crunchy,
I'll be sick that day.
What if we
I'll be sick.
made a bet about it?
I'll be sick that day.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no way.
All right, Eric, how's the weather looking?
All right, let's take a look at anything and talk about. Usually we talk about great food. Here we go. All right, let's see what's going on with our forecast. So overnight lows tonight in the upper 50s. Might see a low 60 in the southern Piedmont, but 57, that's what we're going for, the official overnight low. I have to say this weekend, beautiful. Look at tomorrow. In my opinion, this is the best day of the week, really, but 86, mostly sunny, just not really nice. Northwest wind may be light, but you probably won't feel very much just because the high pressure is kind of centered over us. And as long as it stays like that, then you're not going to see much in the way of wind. You definitely won't see a whole lot in cloud cover or rainfall. We are dry, it looks like, through the weekend. Slight chance maybe at the beginning of the week. Don't hold your breath for that one. That's a 20% chance. And really, if you look at this, the influence of the high is huge. And we kind of cook underneath that dome, that ridge of high pressure. And as that high slips a little bit back to the west and to the south, we're going to warm up even more so on Sunday. There are several days in our 7-day forecast where our forecasted high is 88 or 89, which means our southern Piedmont especially, we'll see some low 90s. I mean, we're getting there. 79 is the normal low for this time of the year. So today's temperature, we're in the low 80s right now. That's not that far off the mark, but when you're getting up close to 90 degrees, 10 degrees above normal in some cases in the 7-day. Here's what it looks like if you're trying to plan the entire week. We'll go with sunshine, warm through the weekend, warm on Saturday, hot on Sunday, 88 degrees. Then 89 for your Monday, 88 Tuesday. That's the chance of a shower we talked about. Again, only a 20% chance. Lows pretty much in the mid to upper 60s for most of next week. Wednesday, 88. Thursday, 89. Are you getting a theme here, a common thread? Yeah, upper 80s and sunny to partly cloudy for the next week.
Parents were like, you've been eating deer sausage. And I was like, oh! Yeah. One, two, three.
Hi, Friday.
Sorry, you're done. Callie, can you hear me? Cicada.
Hey, mic check, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Can you guys hear me okay?
Hey there, friends. Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee.
So 2 years ago, if I came to you like this, you would think I'm probably going to rob a bank. Well, not now. We're used to it. Or are we? There are people on both sides of this thing, mask or no mask. They hate them, they can't wait to get rid of them. I actually can't wait to get rid of them. And some people are just like, no, it's okay, I'm used to it now. So I read an article and this psychologist said something I thought was really interesting. He said there are some people that got so used to it that they feel it's a security blanket, that they feel better when they're wearing it. It's almost like I have control of my world, things are the way they're supposed to be, I'm safe. So now you face the mask anxiety of not wearing the mask. So for those folks, that's going to take some time to adjust to not wearing the mask, and that's okay. Nobody's going to judge anybody for wearing a mask longer. Now, if you're me, I carry this in my back pocket most of the time, and sometimes I walk in and I'm like, whoop, am I supposed to have a mask here or not? Because the guidelines are shifting and changing, and some businesses require it and some don't. So I walk in looking like some sort of a spy, because I'm like this, like who's everybody wearing? Okay, no, they're not. Okay, in the back pocket, or maybe they are, and then I'm scrambling to get it on, and you just look like that guy. I think the bottom line is here, it takes us back to first grade. Just read, and we'll learn. You just read. Outside of most places that require masks, surely they'll have signage or something in the window that says, we still require a mask. A deep breath. Let your mask anxiety go and just read. Sounds simple, but I think that's the answer for all of us. And that's just my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
We are learning new details about a deadly helicopter crash in Eden last month.
The National Transportation Safety Board released its preliminary findings this afternoon about that deadly crash. The Duke Energy helicopter was surveying power